Welcome back, everybody. The History Guy here, and I wanted to revisit a game that I haven't played for a little while, and that is Gettysburg The Tide Turns, which is kind of a throwback to the old tabletop wargaming days. It's kind of fun, and it's different, and there's nothing wrong with taking a different spin on things, and best of all, this one has multiplayer available to it, and I've toyed with that a little bit as well, but I wanted to just go ahead and play through a campaign on this one. So we're going to go ahead and get that started. And I haven't played this game for a couple of months, but I figure if I'm going to play as the Union, which I'm going to on this one, I at the very least ought to go on the 2-star difficulty for the AI. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to dive right in. Normally I don't have the music playing in the background for games, but I just love the music so much on this one that I'm going to let it play. And hopefully I have it quiet enough that it's not a distraction. But we'll have to see how that goes. So basically, in a nutshell, if you're not familiar with this type of game, at the beginning of every turn, which each turn represents an hour, you see what units are going to be available to you. In this case, any units of the 1st Corps for me, 3rd Division under Heath for the Confederates. And then it randomly spins, basically, to see which ones go in what order, and then also in that is the combat phase. So every game could be completely different because the initiative could be completely different. In this case, Heath is going to go first, and I'm just sitting there with my cavalry, and then I'll have the 1st Corps units arriving on the field that I can try to rush into position as best I can. And I'm going to get my 1st Corps units here now. Iron Brigade and Lysander Cutler's Brigade. These are the brigades of the 1st Corps of the 1st Division. That's about it. There's not a lot going on. Obviously, each successive turn is going to take a little bit longer to play because there'll be more and more units entering the field. There's not really any Confederate combat that can be done, nor is there Union combat. So that turn gets pretty quickly done. Looks like I have the ability to bombard. He's within range of me, so I've got this little battery under Caliph that can fire. And a lot of how this game's going to go, I think, is going to come down to those turns and the order in which they happen, as well as strategy. So I'm going to use the Emmitsburg Road to my advantage and try to rush these troops up the road as quickly as I can to get them into position. And you can see there are different experience levels. Biddle's a raw unit. He's going to break a whole lot easier than an elite unit like the Iron Brigade, for example. And Biddle comes in from this other side over here. So what I'm going to try to do is rush him over to the Hagerstown road as quickly as I can. And then I can rush him up to join the other ones. Did my music go away? No, music's on. It's just not doing anything at the moment. Alright, so decision here. Should I move the cavalry? Should I move Caliph's battery, for example? His battery doesn't really have much ability. It's only one little artillery piece represented there. But I think, at least for the time being, I'm going to hold tight and use the cavalry to delay Heath's division as best I can. I probably should have moved Gamble over and at least had them next to each other, because Davis, I think, is probably going to light Devon up. Okay, we're on to turn 3. So we'll probably get through maybe 7 or 8 turns in this first episode, I would guess, depending on how quickly it all goes down. There's a Krzyzanowski, Shinovsky, lots of different ways it gets pronounced, but he's a brigade from the 11th Corps. Schimmelpfennig, same thing. 11th Corps will most likely just going to rush them up and get them in a position on Cemetery Hill. That'll be our fallback position once these units start to shatter, which inevitably they will. Alright. Well, that didn't last long. We're going to go ahead and just pull back to town, I think. Take advantage of the high ground. Those are where the objectives are anyhow. He's going to start getting the second corps pretty soon. Well, I hate when that happens. So we're going to throw the Iron Brigade right up there. We'll put Cutler next to them on this side. So already we're kind of going ahistorical here because obviously all of these units fought west of town on the first day of the battle. But that's not happening here. And we're already on to turn 4. My combat phases first, nothing to do there. So 31 turns represents the entire campaign mode. 31 hours of gameplay spread out over the 3 days. Here comes Adalbert Ames. Von Gisa, I'm not exactly sure how he pronounces that. Just about going to have the 11th Corps where I want them. I was hoping that I'd get to move before Heath did, but that's the way it goes sometimes. So I'm going to move some of these units a little further over to start getting them over toward Culp's Hill. We're going to hang tight with them. Got to get Biddle over here. The problem is, now we're in a situation where even if I rush him up that road, he's going to be running into the enemy. So I'm just going to have to go this way. It's going to be a while before I get him. Confederates are going to have a lot of men coming down on me. Hopefully taking advantage of the high ground is enough for me to hold on. I'm going to bring Gamble out over here on the flank on Culp's Hill for now. Alright, we're on to turn 5. I think we're going to start seeing the 2nd Corps arrive for the Confederates here pretty soon. Right now it's just a race to get everybody's troops into position. I'm going to bring Stone back here as a reserve, and I can rush him up if any of these units end up breaking. Finally, Biddle will be up to the road. The rest of these guys, I think I'm going to hang tight where they are. Yep. Just got to wait and see what the Confederates are going to do. Here it comes. So now kind of a decision to make here. Do I keep him there or do I run him out? I think I'm going to keep him where he is. Some raw 11th Corps units, not exactly the cream of the crop here. I Can't quite get Schimmelpfennig where I want him yet. Alright, we can get him over there, though. I actually kind of want this to... oh well. Alright, we're on to hour 6 already. First Corps gets to move first this time, and I think we're going to just kind of hold where we are for the most part. Alright. Hoping for combat. No. We're going to get roads first. Here comes the Second Corps. Alright, here comes our combat phase. This should be good. I gotta start in on Davis because he's got a huge unit there. No, we're not gonna commit that right now. It's gonna be interesting to see when all the smoke clears who stands firm and who falls back. I put the Iron Brigade right at the center because they're my elite unit. And I'm hoping that means they'll hold firm. Davis is gone. Hopefully Pettigrew will be as well. Wow. That actually worked out pretty well for me. I mean, the Iron Brigade lost a ton, but they held. I think we're just going to kind of hang tight with everybody. I'm going to put Ames up here because I'm going to pull the Iron Brigade back first chance I get. I think for now I'll move Schimmelpfennig up here just to get another target for Archer. You know what? I might do this too just because I've got an advantage and I'm going to take advantage. I want to use it as best I can. No, we'll hang tight there. I've got to shatter as many of his units as possible and throw them back because he's just going to keep slamming into me with everything he's got. And he's got a lot. Some of my units are raw. They're not going to fight real well. But I think we're going to be able to shatter Archer here just because of the amount of firepower that I've got coming down on him. Archer was captured at the Battle of Gettysburg. And he was an old friend of Abner Doubleday, who was the acting commander of the 1st Corps, who, when he saw him, said, I sure am glad to see you, Archer. And Archer replied, I won't give the exact words because I try to be as family friendly as possible, but he basically said, I am not glad to see you. Alright, I think we'll do 1 or 2 more hours here. He's going to get his combat phase again right away. I want to be able to move the 1st Corps so I can reform my line with fresh units. In the meantime, Joseph Davis is gone. I believe he was also captured. He was. It was his unit that suffered so terribly, losing a lot of men that were captured, particularly down in the railroad cut west of town, right over here in this area down here. Alright, so some of my units fell back, but that's actually okay because that opens up a place for me to bring up some new ones. Hopefully I'll be able to get these guys out of here soon. Who else do we have? I'm going to go ahead and pull Schimmelpfennig back for now. Yeah, I think I'll keep him. No, I think we're going to move him back to here, get him closer to the rest of the line. I'm going to bring Smith over a little bit. Okay. Give me the first corps. There we go. Awesome. I'm going to get Baxter off the line. We'll bring Roy Stone up, even though he's, I believe, a... oh, he's an experienced unit. Okay, good. He's not a raw recruit. Alright, I think we're good. Yep. Let's see what happens. He's got a lot of artillery headed this way. I'm not real excited about that. Junius Daniel, Stephen Ramser. These are all second corps units now coming in. Didn't perform particularly well. I believe Iverson, I think he was the one that was drunk or just very badly engaged on the field. Did not perform well at all. I'm going to hit Daniel just because he's right there in the center. No, we're solid. We're gonna fight this out. Well, that didn't go well for either side, really. But again, I've got fresh units that I can plug into those gaps, and I can just let him keep hurling his men at me. No, nobody's going to advance. What I worry about is when he starts getting more of this artillery up into position. I would think before too long I should start getting some more reinforcements. The 12th Corps. Alright, we'll do this last turn, and I think that should be good for the first episode. We'll be not quite a third of the way into this thing. Probably take 3 or 4 episodes to play the entire campaign. I'm just going to keep hitting whoever's in the center with my artillery. Yeah, this is kind of a problem for me. These 2 units here. I really was hoping I could get these other ones moved up first. Perfect. Now, if they'll give me the 1st Corps, or even the 11th Corps, to advance with first, I'll be in good shape. Now he's going to move into Cemetery Hill. Yeah, that's a problem. That's a big problem. Again, like I said, it's all about who gets the initiative, who gets to move. It's all part of it. If I had moved one of my corps first, I would have reoccupied those heights. He wouldn't have been able to move into that position. Neither one of those units were hit hard enough for them to break. Now it's going to get interesting. Okay. We can plug that gap. I can bring Smith over here to counter Jenkins. Everybody else, I think, is just going to have to hang tight. Okay. Alright, first corps. We're going to let some of these units. Here comes Stanner. That's the famed Paper Collar Brigade that you know so well from my series on Ultimate General Civil War. But in the meantime, I want to see what units I've got to move here. Biddle. I'm probably going to have to hold him there just because some of my other units are probably going to break. Cutler, I want to let him try to reform a little bit. Okay. And here come the 12th Corps. Right on schedule. I was just commenting on how I needed the 12th Corps to start showing up. And there they are. So at this point, I would think we're probably late afternoon of July 1st. So by this point, the Union had fallen back to the position that I'm occupying now anyway. It's just they had done a lot more damage to each other in the meantime. I think we'll go one more. We got time for one more hour in this episode. Who just fell back? Gamble. Hopefully I can shatter Lane. Maybe Ramser as well. And I can push back into that position if I get the initiative. This is going to be interesting to kind of see how this all breaks down when the smoke clears. Oh yeah, Jenkins, you better fall back. Bye-bye. Oh, wow. We both fell back. Okay. That's alright. But again, he got the initiative. He got to move first. He's taken the objective. So he's pulling back some of his units that have been shattered and moving up some fresh ones. Gordon's going to be a tough cookie to crack right there. Tough nut to crack. I'm mixing my metaphors. Okay. Biddle's okay. Cutler, I may need to move back up. Paul's okay. We got to get Stannard up here. Perfect. He's going to get into position right there. Of course, he's going to face down some artillery, and that might get ugly. Wainwright, I think we're good. Where's Baxter? Right there. Biddle's good. Cutler, I'm going to move over to here to face down Jenkins. Stone, we're just going to hang tight with him. Okay. Combat phase. This should be fun. Yeah, nobody's gonna retreat. This is gonna be interesting. There's gonna be a lot of firepower going down here. Come on, boys. Pour it into them. I'm worried about my center. Von Gilsa's already done, and Biddle, he may shatter as well. Hopefully I can get the 12th Corps move to move first so I can bring up some of these units to occupy these positions. Wow. It is not going well for me right now. I think we're just going to kind of hold tight right there. Awesome. Finally, something goes my way as far as the turn counter goes. That was really helpful for me to be able to get that 12th Corps move first. Eleventh Corps is in rough shape, but we've got Smith right here. I think he's going to have to pull back. And we're going to let these guys try to reform a little bit. I think the Confederates still have their combat phase. I'm kind of worried about what happens then. All right, we're gonna call it a good first episode there. We're about a third of the way into this thing. It's hour 10. I do have to at least hit continue here and let the CSA combat phase go because I don't think it's easy to save until after you do that. So we'll actually wrap it up at the end of this combat phase. Again, I really hope I get the 12th Corps first. Yikes. Big gaping hole in the center of my line once again. Please give me the 12th Corps first. I think it's after turn 11 that it evaluates where things stand, so it's going to be interesting. We're going to stop right there. As always, I welcome any and all observations. I am a total noob at this game, so there's probably some things I can learn and do better and do well. But please use the comment section below to let me know your thoughts, your questions, your comments, your strategies, your ideas, your tips, your criticisms, any and all those things. If you like what you see and you want to see more of this game, hit that thumbs up and let me know that. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Check out some of the other things I've going. Already appreciating all the folks who are starting to get active on Discord. Again, I'm relatively new to that, but I'm learning along the way, and I've been taking your suggestions as much as possible for how to set that up and how to make best use of that. So please check that out in the link below. Check out Patreon if you haven't already, and we will see you again real soon. Thanks for watching, guys.